welcome back to the Web of Opinions podcast. I'm Cody, known as This Kid's Opinion on YouTube, and I'm joined by Cam, who is known as the Spider Within as well. And we got episode 4 of this podcast. We got 5 different topics. Timestamps are in the description or pinned comment. But before we get into the topics, how are we doing, Cam, today?
We're doing pretty good. We're getting some more Marvel content that we need and love. We got some trailers. We got new movies coming up, new shows. We just got, this year is starting off pretty good, I think. How about you?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think 2025 will be a great year for the movie industry. Gonna have lots to talk about, and hopefully the Web of Opinions podcast will be the greatest podcast ever.
Hopefully, beat Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we're gonna get a bigger deal than him from Spotify. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, number 1 podcast in the world.
It's like what Impulsive does. They always say the number 1 podcast in the world. So yeah, our first topic will be the brand new Marvel animation show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. They released the first 2 episodes, and so far, I think it's decent. As a lot of people think, I'm not that big of a fan of the animation. I think it's weird that the characters don't move in the background. I know it's like it's been done before. It's a style of art, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not really a fan of the animation, but the plot is decent so far. And just get the elephant out of the room already. The race, gender swaps of the characters. In my humble opinion, I am fine with a race or gender swap if it doesn't affect the core character. Like Jim Gordon, his race being switched in the Batman movie, I couldn't care less. I actually think they did a great job with it in the movie. But I'm not a big fan of the swaps so far, especially Harry and Norman Osborn, who at their core are privileged, rich, white people, and that's who they are. But changing that changes their character. But that's just me. How about you, Kim?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I feel like if you're gonna change like race swap or gender swap, you should at least keep the roots of the character to how they were before. And you can tweak some things here and there, but you keep it original, not too original to the point where you're copying someone. They just change a lot about the character that just makes it unfamiliar to all of us. That's just a brand new invented character that we've seen before.
Yeah, because there's nothing more comforting than watching a Spider-Man show and seeing the villains that you recognize immediately. Green Goblin, Doc Ock, the Rhino. There's just so many characters that are just, it's like comfort food. The Spider-Man genre, especially its villains. So it's more than anything just strange. Like, it's just strange, the swaps, but yeah, like what doesn't matter what political side you're on. I think it is a bit strange. But other than that, I think that the show actually is decent so far. This is the most accurate Peter Parker we've gotten in a while, especially appearance wise. If you look up the first, I'm pretty sure his first run was The Amazing Spider-Man. That's literally what it looks like. So they did a great job with Peter so far. So, and also another thing about the show, if you're confused on whether this is Tom Holland's Spider-Man, if this is a prequel for him, originally when they made the show, it was supposed to be that. But midway through making the show, they decided to switch it and make it its own original story. So that's why there's elements of, the opening shot of the show is the big bold Captain America Civil War letters, Queens. So, and then the direct copy of whenever we first see Peter walk into the room, he sees Tony. They have that exact shot so far, except they replaced Tony with Norman Osborn. So that's why there's scenes like that that are the exact same from Tom Holland. But this is an original story, so don't let that confuse you.
And I would also like to add the fact that they perfectly balanced the Peter Parker side and the Spider-Man side. Like in other Spider-Man films, you mostly get more Spider-Man than Peter Parker. And me personally, watching the films, and in this TV show, even though it's only 2 episodes in, we see both sides equally. You see the awkwardness of Peter, and then you see the wannabe hero going out fighting crime, beating up bad guys, that type of stuff.
Yeah, this dude is more awkward than Toby and Tom Holland combined, and I love that. It's very relatable. So yeah, I think that I agree, Cam. They've done a great job with Peter. So our next topic of the day is going to be discussing everything you need to know before watching Captain America: Brave New World, which is coming out very, very soon. So first, we're going to take a look at the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus show. So after the events of Avengers Endgame, Sam Wilson initially struggles with the responsibility of taking up the Captain America mantle, which was passed to him by Steve Rogers. Believing he doesn't deserve the mantle, he decides to donate the shield to a museum. However, the US government appoints a new Captain America named John Walker, which took Sam and Bucky by immense surprise. And speaking of Bucky, he's grappling with his traumatic past as an assassin who worked for Hydra, and he's trying to make amends and basically apologize to who he's affected as a Winter Soldier. So he eventually meets up with Sam once again due to a global anarchist group called the Flag Smashers, led by a character called Carly, who begins using the stolen super soldier serum. Sam and Bucky reluctantly team up to stop the Flag Smashers while navigating their own personal struggles along the way. They encounter some familiar faces throughout the show. Bucky breaks Baron Zemo out from prison, and they did that because Zemo is going to help them track down the serum that was recreated. And they also meet Sharon Carter along the way, who fled to Madripoor due to being on the side of Captain America in Civil War. So she fled the country because if she came back, she would be immediately arrested. And John Walker's tenure as Captain America spirals out of control after he injects himself with the serum. And he brutally kills a Flag Smasher in public, leading to his dishonorable discharge and ultimately discharge as Captain America. In the end, Sam realizes the importance of embracing the mantle as Captain America after John Walker had his disastrous downfall, and he now dons a new vibranium suit given to him by Wakanda, and he's finally Captain America.
Next up, let's talk about Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. Originally portrayed by the late William Hurt, the role has been taken over by Harrison Ford. Ross has ascended to presidency, adding a complex layer to his character. Known for his strong views on superhero oversight, his new position could significantly impact global policies on superhumans. In Captain America: Brave New World, one of the most intriguing new elements being introduced is adamantium, a nearly indestructible metal. In Marvel Comics, adamantium is famously associated with Wolverine's claws and skeleton. Its introduction into the MCU not only lays the groundwork for mutants, but also positions adamantium as significant as vibranium. The speculation is that adamantium might be mined or extracted from the body of the petrified celestial Tiamat. In Eternals, Tiamat was a celestial who began emerging from Earth's crust during the climax of the movie. When he emerges, an event triggered when the Earth reached a population level high enough to sustain the new birth of a new celestial. However, the Eternals, led by Cersei, decided to prevent his catastrophic event. Cersei used the power of the Unimind, a union of the Eternal powers, to petrify Tiamat, turning him into stone and stopping his emergence. Now, Tiamat's colossal, stone-like body remains partially submerged in the ocean. In Captain America: Brave New World, this body might serve as a source of adamantium.
And fans of The Incredible Hulk will be excited to know that characters like Betty Ross, played by Liv Tyler, and Samuel Stearns, aka the Leader, who is portrayed by Tim Blake Nelson, are returning in this movie. And additionally, with Thaddeus Ross's transformation into the Red Hulk, as we see in the trailers. So that's everything you need to know about the upcoming Captain America: Brave New World movie. And leading into our next segment is also on this movie. It's not a debate, but it's kind of like one between Cam and I. He is very optimistic about this movie. I'm very skeptic, and I just want to compare what our beliefs are on some aspects of this movie. So let's get into it. All right. So our first topic going to this is: will this movie be able to match the Winter Soldier tone? And what we mean by that is this rugged, grounded, a lot of cool action scenes movie. that we all loved about the Winter Soldier. So, up first, Cam, the optimistic one of this movie. Do you think this will match the tone of Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier?
I think it would have the similar vibes. I don't think it's going to be, you know, a one-to-one replica match of The Winter Soldier. It definitely has, you know, the same kind of vibes with the, you know, undercover stuff, you know, vigilante, all this stuff. It looks like almost a COD game.
As for me, I actually kind of agree with Cam. I do think it will be very grounded, action heavy for most of the movie until the end of the movie where they have a big red Hulk monster. I think that's not very Captain America Winter Soldier-esque. But other than that, I think they kind of have to, if they want to produce the best movie possible, to have this Winter Soldier-esque action sequences. Maybe the team up battle scene will, maybe that doesn't count as Winter Soldier-esque. So I think only two action sequences in this movie will not match it. But I'm looking forward to see what they do with the White House battle. But I do think it will somewhat match the Winter Soldier tone. And then our second discussion point is if this movie is going to have too much plot. I am a unanimous yes in this. I believe it's going to this movie is going to try to juggle a crap ton. I think they're going to try to make a World War III-esque potential with the team at Adamantium War. I think that will probably happen. They got like 3 villains. They got Red Hulk. They got the leader. They got Sidewinder. So there's a lot of villains in this movie. This movie has established Sam Wilson as a legit Captain America level hero. They might set up the event, like the next order of Avengers in this movie. And yeah, I think this movie has a lot on its plate. Especially, I'm even more concerned because they just released the runtime for this movie. An hour and 58 is a lot for what they're going to try to do in this movie. And I'm really scared. So yeah, I think there's way too much plot going on.
Yeah, I don't actually think that it's gonna be too much plot. Me personally, I think it's just gonna be, you know, two teams with like Thaddeus Ross and, you know, Sam and their little CIA group, whatever, is fighting off the leader and the Sidewinder, their little group, and then maybe they'll just break off like towards like the end. But I just think it's just going to be 2 opposing groups just clashing together.
So topic number 3 is, will the reshoots actually help this movie? I'm actually going to say yes on this because I think this movie from the start has been flawed in its concept, and we'll go over this later in topic 4. But at this core, I do not believe in this movie. So those early drafts were rejected heavily by not just like test screeners, but also internal test screeners for Marvel. So I think the reshoots only going to help this movie. It's not going to help it financially, but the reshoots, I've called this budget to balloon. But I do think that the reshoots are actually going to help with the final product and salvage something for this movie.
Yeah, I also agree with, you know, the reshoots will help it drastically, because if they don't think that a certain scene is right for the movie, they will reshoot it until they think that it's perfect. And now coming as just seeing a movie of just like a standalone movie, I think they will portray it amazingly, the whole story of this new Captain America for the new future of the MCU, of the Avengers.
And then leading to the next one, as I mentioned earlier, is does Sam deserve to be Captain America? In my opinion, this is the flawed core of this movie. I don't think Sam deserves to be Captain America. I think it should have been either Bucky or you just retired the character in general. And here's why Sam does not deserve to be Captain America. What did he do in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame to warrant to be the new Captain America? He didn't do a darn thing. He did stick by Captain America's side during Civil War, but also, you know, Hawkeye did. Why isn't Hawkeye, you know, Captain America? I think it should have been Bucky. There's a really good comic line where he was Bucky that was well received, unlike Sam Wilson's run as Captain America in comics, which was horribly received. But Bucky shares the same core traditional American values that Steve did back in the the 40s and all that. He's a super soldier, and he is a product of what America is all about, a second chance. And given a guy like Bucky, the mantle as Captain America is the ultimate second chance. And I think that would have been a really compelling storyline. And with Sam, they got to make some stuff up because bro doesn't have beef in it with anyone, But yeah, I think this movie has a chance to be good, but I think it could have been elite with a different Captain America, more specifically Bucky. I just don't think Sam deserves to be Cap.
I nor agree nor disagree that Sam deserves to be Captain America. I feel like the Captain America mantle should have just rested when Steve was tired of being Captain America. The Captain America role does not need to be passed down from generation to generation. It should have just been an era where one man that symbolized heroism, peace, justice, everything under the sun. No one can do the same amount of accomplishments or has gone through the same amount of discipline or really has gone through anything like Steve has. Not even Bucky, even though he was his closest friend, not even Sam.
And then our last discussion for this skepticism versus optimism debate, we got, does this movie actually impact Marvel Cinematic Universe? I'm going to say kinda. Only if they actually try to salvage up an Avengers team. Even though I think this potential new Avengers team is going to be garbage, they still gotta have an Avengers team for Doomsday. So I think it's going to really impact the MCU. I don't think as much as Fantastic Four, because it's all safe to assume that will be like post-credit scene in that movie will be the debut of RDJ. So I'm gonna say this movie does impact it because it will probably be about Captain America setting up the new Avengers team because there's no Avengers right now. So I'm gonna say it does impact the MCU.
I'm throwing a little curveball. I actually don't think it will impact the MCU at all, simply because I don't see them putting any more story into this already cinematic universe. I feel like they just want to close out this Captain America stuff once and for all, give it its fourth and final movie, and just, wrap it up, clean slate. They don't have to touch it ever again.
In its own little self story.
Yeah, a little reboot to the Captain America franchise, but also the end of the Captain America franchise in a way.
So yeah, that is our bold takes for the upcoming Captain America Brave New World movie. Definitely let us know in the comments or whatever you're watching this on what you think about it. On to our final topic of this video. It is whether Superman or Fantastic Four will be the better movie. Which movie is going to rule the summer of superhero movies in the summer? They're both coming out in the same month. And these are two very, very important films for both DC and Marvel. Superman is the kickoff to their new cinematic universe, and Fantastic Four is probably going to be the most important movie that happens before Doomsday and Secret Wars. Cam, what movie is going to be better, Superman or Fantastic Four?
Personally, I think Superman is going to take the superhero movie of the year. Simply because James Gunn, I don't want to jinx this, but has never let us down with a single piece of film that he has put out to the public. Take Peacemaker, for example. All the Guardians films, the new Creature Commando show that just ended a couple weeks ago. All fantastic, has no flaws whatsoever. And I think, personally, James Gunn taking over the DCU has been an excellent choice because of his amazing work, and it's just going to be so beautiful, so fresh for us to see some fantastic work that we haven't seen in a long time from DC or just a superhero franchise in general.
I'm actually going to agree with you. So I think Superman is going to be the overall better movie. However, I do think Fantastic Four is going to have a lot of impact when it comes to its cinematic universe. Because my hot take, it's probably not a hot take, it's probably a common opinion, but I think the ending of Fantastic Four will be Galactus eating their universe and then them having to flee to, I don't know, 616. So I think it's gonna have the most dramatic, like heartfelt moment. But overall, I think Superman will be the better movie. Like you said, I also trust James Gunn. David Cornsweet looks like a good Superman. And just from the teaser, this movie seems really hopeful, which is definitely the opposite of Zack Snyder's Superman. Despise that one. This Superman looks like he's gonna get kicked around, but he will represent a tremendous hero globally. I mean, just that shot of the kid holding up the Superman flag, hoping that he'll come save him. Dude, you can't beat that. I don't know. I love that shot. I think it's going to be a great self-contained story. Even though there's a crap ton of characters, James Gunn has said that it will. Even though there's a lot of characters being introduced, like Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, that this will be a Superman story. So yeah, and as for Fantastic Four, I know Pedro Pascal is immensely popular. He just doesn't seem like Reed Richards. I've been religiously reading the Fantastic Four comics, and I don't get Pedro Pascal at all. I get the guy they first casted for the Fantastic Four movies in the early 2000s. I think he was a fantastic Mr. Fantastic, no pun intended. I think the casting overall was good, but I think they really missed the mark with Mr. Fantastic casting Pedro Pascal. Seeing Galactus again is a little redundant, although they're actually going to make him Galactus and not a cloud like they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Fantastic Four will be a good movie. I think Superman will be better, more self-contained, and overall better story. So yeah, we're going to both agree with Superman being the better movie. So yeah, let us know which movie you think would be better. I think we'll be pretty split down the middle. So I'm really excited to see what these two studios do. Now that they have some competition in the same month. So yeah, competition always breeds just tremendous stuff. So I'm excited to see that. So that's gonna do it for our fourth edition of the podcast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, whatever you're watching, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Make sure to support us. We really appreciate it. Cam is known as Spider Within on YouTube. Go check him out. This Kid's Opinion on YouTube. So we appreciate it if you checked us out. So that's going to do it for us, guys. Peace out.